Hey friends, welcome to the channel. It's me, just me. It's there's just me here, which is good for you, I guess, and good for me, maybe. Who wants someone listening in? I mean, you know, I certainly don't, and I'm sure you don't either. Anyway, this is P99. We're on the green server still. What a lovely sunrise again. I mean, it's amazing how a game from 1999 can still look very good. It's just the way it kind of like evokes, just the way that it. I think it's to do with how they were certainly a company that did the best with what they could at the time with regards to technology, and getting this technology kind of, you know, coming down our pipes in a reasonably good fashion, in smaller packets as I think they probably could as possible. It's certainly a world where you look out and it seems filled with endless possibilities, I think, and so many. And it looks like it's an interesting world. You kind of want to move forward and explore. And there are still some places, some corners of the world that I just haven't even ever been to before, you know, even though I've been here now for a number of years. Before we start this video, I do want to say, I do want to come out in support of my fellow content creators. I have to be upfront. Like, I hate Google and YouTube with an utter passion. I hate their politics, just hate them as a company. It's just run, you know, obviously many people work there, but it's run by garbage people. And some of the things that they are doing with regards to advertising and stuff, just ruining people's businesses, really, who have become to rely on YouTube, unfortunately, because it's the only place where there is any viewership. I mean, I wish there was somewhere else to go. I'm not saying they're particularly better, but next week I'm hoping to do a bit more regular streaming. But I wish that Twitch had like a similar platform. I mean, you can go there and watch the videos, obviously, but keeping content there is difficult. I mean, I was watching a video yesterday from some guy who did a stream on YouTube, and from what I can gather, I think he kind of accidentally, inadvertently played some music from the stream on the stream that I think, you know, is probably licensed, I believe. You know, which is fine. He made a mistake, and I think they took his like ad revenue from that stream. But not only did they do that, but they also took his. YouTube's got something called super chat on stream, which is a bit like a donation. But they also took all of his donations. So all of those people who gave him money, you know, didn't want to give it to YouTube or Google, they've donated it to him. They also took that money, it seems. Just a garbage company. Absolute garbage. Yeah, and I just wish there was somewhere else to go that had a platform and a viewership, you know, but what can you do? As I said, next week I might start streaming a bit more. But it's not really a replacement for YouTube. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get on to the game. Let's get on to some gaming. So I'm level 20. I'm in East Karana still. Great place, East Karana, for these levels. I'm doing Gorge Hounds at the moment, which are quite nice. Thank you very much. Nice XP. There are no. They don't drop any gold, but they do drop letters. They do drop pages, actually. So I've just started to gather up a few pages, and what I'm kind of like, I wouldn't say my plans have changed. I'm starting to. I was going to say now that the you know, the initial euphoria of classic has worn off. It hasn't, actually. I was just going to say that as a saying, but it hasn't worn off. You know, I want to do a video kind of talking about my experiences, but I'll save that for a separate video. But now I'm kind of thinking a bit more about things, looking at the timeline for when patches and stuff are going to be released. I'm starting to kind of formulate some plans. Mostly, I know sometimes it must sound like I only play Everquest, just to do content. But it's weird because it does become quite intrinsically linked. You know, there's like a symbiosis there between content and the game. But I would be playing the game without that. You know, it's just a fantastic experience, which you just still can't really get anywhere else. Hey there, Mr. Griffithorn. I like Griffithorns because they seem to drop. I've got the odd gem and they seem quite good for page drops as well. So yeah, nice. I love the model as well. Just a great looking model. Yeah, there is definitely a symbiosis there between the two. But I know it probably sounds like that sometimes, but definitely not. But certainly, as far as me sitting here enjoying the game on my own, you know, on a personal level, I kind of want to start creating some goals for the channel, essentially. So I think Mugwort's only really got Mugwort. Bloody hell, that's taking me back. I think Augur has only really got one. I've only got one goal for Augur, and that's essentially to get a Geyser the Deceiver. I've kind of seen people talking about it. You know, I think that I need to get into Lower Guck, where there's undead. You know, I don't know if at some point, maybe, you know, if there are some people around, maybe we can fight down to it. I could probably make myself some IVU potions as another way of getting down to it, but I'm not super bothered. I mean, looking at the timeline, it seems as though many of these items will be in until like May next year, looking at the rough timeline that Nilbog put up. So yeah, I'm hopefully not too concerned about getting them. I'm hoping I'll get them at some point. So that's kind of Augur's. That's kind of what I'm looking at doing with Augur as quickly as possible, is to get, I would say, between 34 and 39-ish, roughly. And then maybe I can get to that camp and get a Guise. That's a real fetish for me, I have to say. Like a Dark Elf Shaman. That's just like, you know, someone who's a big fan of D&D, someone who's a big fan of, you know, the various novels that sprung from that, some of the characters. I'm a big fan of Drist and the Menzo Branzan novels, that kind of thing. So, yeah, I know he's not a shaman, but yeah, that's always been something that I've kind of thought about, and that's kind of that's my main goal with him. So fingers crossed, that's heading towards that, essentially. With regards to kind of other goals, I don't want that the Griffin wants to run fast. I don't want him to go too far. With regards to other goals, I mean, I think most of those will probably be accomplished with a caster. So I'm kind of wondering what way to go on that front. I think the goals that I will be looking at would be Mana Stone, but I've heard that the camp is an absolute nightmare at the moment. So, you know, but if that's in there, if that's in for a few months, that's fine. You know, at some point I will try and find a way to dedicate time to just sitting there for that. J Boots as well is something that, you know, is another thing that I've never had before on a character. So we will. He's going to go. He's going to go, isn't he? He's going to go. Yeah, J Boots is something that I've never had on a character. I might have to cast another Tainted Breath. I could just nuke him, but, you know, Tainted Breath is less mana at this point. I should probably load up my low-level nuke, maybe. You know, but sometimes just you're a bit lazy rather than being efficient, I think. Still ticking away. It might kill him off. Yeah, so J Boots and J Boots, Mana Stone are a couple of things. If you can think of anything else, let me know that you'd like to see content of. And I think the other thing is probably some Ruby Sight armor, because I'm Shaman can wear that. And I did see a Shaman in some. There was a video of a Shaman in an old video, an old P99 video, I think, when it first came out, when they were still testing and stuff, of an Ogre Shaman in some Ruby Sight armor, and that's yeah, I like that a lot. So that I'd like to get some of that for yeah, just to have it, basically, just to have content of it as well, you know, and yeah, that'd be good. And I'm kind of wondering, like, where to go with that, like what would be the ideal class to accomplish those goals. I don't really think it's a Shaman overall. I think probably a necromancer or an enchanter. Let me know if you've got any opinions on it. Let me know. But I think probably an enchanter or necromancer will be the two. One of the two, probably a mage as well. I think probably one of the pet caster classes are probably going to be good classes to power through and do that kind of stuff. I just think enchanter and necromancer probably win out just because of their just versatility. I think they're moving around dungeons, that kind of thing. I mean, I don't think that. I guess the mana stones in Guk as well. Is that right? I honestly can't remember. Yeah. And ruby sites obviously in Kha'Zix Fall. So yeah, so I'm kind of thinking about what to do with regards to which caster will just be more efficient to do that. And I mean, I've started an enchanter who's level 12, and I enjoy playing the enchanter. But I must confess, playing a shaman and an enchanter again, there's a lot of familiarity. So I'm kind of wondering if a necromancer might be quite fun. A lot of people over the time I've played P99 have said to me that they think that necromancer could be the ideal class for me. You got a pet, you kind of got some of the bits of an enchanter. You can charm undead. You got some bits of kind of like shaman. You can root rot. There's quite a lot of quite a lot of dotting up and that kind of thing. Lots of flavour. So I'm kind of thinking that maybe necromancer would be quite fun to play. But I guess because these are kind of goals, I suppose I'm looking for the more ideal. Initially, I'm looking for the more ideal class to do those things with, as opposed to what might be the most fun to play. Sometimes that's just sometimes you've got to play the game that way to achieve the goals that you want. I don't know. Any of your experiences would be fine. I think the enchanter kind of relies on charisma gear, really. So I suppose it depends how much charisma gear, what I can get my charisma to by about 35, level 35, 40, whatever. I think necromancer's kind of you got your feign death, you got your way to heal yourself, you got your pet. I just think that in classic, in this early game, maybe the necromancer is kind of like the versatile powerhouse to do things with. So to accomplish those goals with, yeah. But I'm not sure. We will see how we go. I'll probably start doing that. I'll probably start that alternate character. Well, putting a bit more time into that over the weekend. Kind of like one of my goals. Obviously, I'd like to get to 24 as soon as possible on Augur, and then we move on to 34. I get my pet. I think the other thing as well, like I'm sure that you guys out there, people who would agree and disagree, but. Yeah, I also think that from a I think plat farming, kind of like doing giants on level to get experience and plat might be quite a good thing. And I kind of feel that the necromancer, just in classic, might have a slight advantage there as well over the enchanter. You got a fairly decent pet. Fear kiting seems, with a snare, obviously. Seems pretty OP, so yeah, we'll have to see how he goes. But that's kind of my thinking over the weekend. Kind of thinking more about goals I want to accomplish for the channel and for the characters. And I think part of the reason I've kind of been thinking about that a bit more over the last couple of days is the fact that you kind of forget like how long there is in between like patches, really. I mean, Cunning, looking at Nilbog's timeline, is not till late next year. So there's a long time to go. I think that for the time that I play, I should comfortably be able to get a couple of classes to 50. And kind of, have those classes ready for Cunning when it comes out. Ideally, I'd like to have something... Probably my Shaman, I guess. I'd like to have something ready for I think Plane of Fear goes in fairly soon, relatively. I say fairly soon, I mean relatively. I think Nilbog put up it's probably January, so yeah, that it would be nice to have something around, well, I guess even if I think 46 is minimum level, so if you can get something around that kind of level, It will be nice for that. It'd be nice to maybe get in a guild and do that kind of stuff. You know, you don't see a resist for, you know, some minutes, some hours, and then when you're not pulling something with 4 mana, suddenly you get that resist. That's Everquest for you. It's funny. Yesterday I was had enough mana comfortably to kill a blue mob, and I pulled the blue mob, resist, cast spell again, resist, cast spell again, resist. Finally got the mob locked down. Quite low mana. I kind of needed some time to med. Root breaks early. Cast root, resist. Cast root, sticks, breaks. This is on a blue mob. You know, 2 or 3 levels below me. It wasn't anything drastic, but that's kind of. And then I've got to run to the zone and waste time medding up again. You know, and whatnot. But that's what we love about it, isn't it? That's what it's all about. So, yeah, just a short video for you, just to update you on how things are going on. If you want to talk to me in real time, as I said, like over the weekend possibly, and next week, I'm hoping to do more streaming. So you might be able to do that if that's what you want to do. You know, or maybe you think, what the hell do I want to talk to this guy in real time for? In which case, I completely understand that as well. Why would you? But if you do, yeah. You might have the opportunity. Come and say hello. Anyway, that's it, guys, for now. It was just pointing out this is just a quick video, pointing out my plans, update where my characters are. Hoping to get 21 today in August. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. It's still morning for me, so you know I've got time to while away. Yeah, I mean, videos have slowed down over the last couple of weeks. I know there was an initial rush. That's just purely because my health's been poorer. It just goes, you know, it comes and goes. That's why. But I'm still hoping to do at least 2 or 3 videos a week. Fingers crossed. Yeah, and as I said, some streaming. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. Whoops. And I'll see you. I'll just quickly point out for any up-and-coming shaman, like how I've been doing things. I don't have any items at the moment. I'm still sitting in dropped stuff. Apart from I bought the Combine Morningstar, which I probably shouldn't have spent the money on. Yeah, and I'm doing fine. You know, I mean, I've seen quite a lot of shaman by level 20. Seem to have some magical items and stuff. I'm not sure what they're doing. Well, I guess probably what they're doing that I'm not doing is they're going to group in dungeons. You know, that's probably what they're doing. Whereas I'm sitting in East Karana on my fat backside. But I feel that shaman early on don't really offer a lot to a group. So I'm kind of at 24. I'm hoping to go to Guck and some other dungeons and start doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, but at the moment, all of what I'm doing, and I think I'm kind of getting along fairly rapidly, is just with. I mean, I literally have got no added wisdom. I'm just at base wisdom still, so yeah. But I'm doing okay. You know, you can do it. You just need to be patient. Once you get to 24 and 34, you know, you'll be relatively glad you made a shaman. I think probably. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.